Bill before us today, and that's SB 662 by Senator Yee. And let's call a roll for a quorum, please.
Corbett?
Here.
Corbett here. Harmon?
Here.
Harmon here. Hancock? Leno?
Here.
Leno here. Walters?
Thank you very much. We have a quorum. So as soon as Senator Yee is here, we will begin. If the witnesses in support would like to come forward, please do. Senate Bill 662 is a bill to allow us to raise marriage license fees in order to pay for very important domestic violence programs. I'm very happy to have you all here today, especially Senator Yee, to present his bill. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair and members. This bill is pretty straightforward. It allows the opt-in of any county to decide to increase marriage fee by $10 to fund domestic violence shelters. We were hoping that this would really be a bill that would enhance domestic violence services. This is going to be a bill more of maintaining, given what the governor is suggesting of eliminating all state funding for domestic violence program. In these tough economic times, as you can imagine, the incidence of domestic violence increase. These economic problems just cause a lot of discord within families, and so these dollars and programs are even more important. And with that, let me ask Kendra Harris, who's with the California Partnership to End Domestic Violence.
Welcome to your witnesses. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Kendra Harris. I'm the policy manager with the California Partnership to End Domestic Violence. We're California's federally recognized statewide coalition. We represent a number of domestic violence shelters and programs and advocates throughout California. Thank you to Senator Yee for authoring this bill on our behalf. While this measure in no way will make up for a lack of state funding, we think it does take an important step forward and allows our local programs to advocate on their and help them advocate at the local level for marriage license fees that will, of course, help their programs stay afloat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amber Stott, and I'm the Director of Development and Community Relations at WEAVE. And the mission of WEAVE is to end domestic violence and sexual assault in partnership with our community. And we're very pleased to support SB 662 by Senator Yee. The marriage license fees at WEAVE help us support our core programming, and that includes the 200-plus women who stay in our shelter with their children every year. That includes the more than 12,000 women who call our support and information line every year. That includes an advocate, a legal advocate, who helps them fill out restraining order paperwork and attend hearings. That helps with counseling for their children so that the cycle of violence is not repeated. And that also helps with job readiness and job readiness skills training and professional attire so that they can begin an independent life on their own. SB 662 will potentially help with these and other much needed services for struggling domestic violence shelters around the state. And while we understand that it's not necessarily going to be adopted in all the counties, we believe that domestic violence programs should be given the opportunity to advocate at the local level for this increase in funding. It's so critical, and we thank you, Senator Yee, for authorizing this bill. We hope that WEAVE and, of course, the women and the children who we serve can count on your support of this bill.
Thank you. One more witness.
Rebecca Gonzalez, National Association of Social Workers, California chapter. We, as social workers, see many victims of domestic violence, and we see the need for these services and the need for this fee increase. So we also support the bill.
Thank you very much.
Nicole Wurtelman on behalf of the City and County of San Francisco. Every year, San Francisco is forced to turn away almost 800 individuals from their shelters and their transitional housing programs, and this bill would help to remedy that issue.
Thank you very much. Witness in opposition. Good morning.
Madam Chair, good morning. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. Madam Chair, members, David Wolf here with the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association. We are opposed to SB 662. And members, I'd like to start this morning. What's the definition of a fee? The definition of a true fee is an exaction on a person or business in exchange for a direct benefit to the fee payer, number one. Number two, a fee is meant to mitigate a harm caused by the fee payer. Or number three, it's to pay for a regulatory problem directly related to the fee payer's activities. It's on this third point that I think strikes at the merits of the bill, because the committee analysis has determined that this is a regulatory fee. Again, regulatory problem, an issue directly related to the fee payer's activities. I don't understand how an increase in marriage licenses and paying that fee is directly related to those activities. I suppose it might be the case if every marriage ended in some form of domestic violence, and thereby you might actually be able to make a nexus between marriage license fee increases and domestic violence. But short of that, I just don't see a nexus. And because of that, we do believe this is a tax for a special purpose in violation of Prop 13 and 218, and it should require a 2/3 vote of the counties that approve it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Okay, thank you very much. Senator Yee, would you like to respond to that? I know that these fees have actually been in place for many years and have supported our domestic violence programs for many, many years. And do you have a response to the opposition's remarks?
Sure. And it's a fairly basic one. When you get into a relationship and you get into a marriage, it is always a difficult time, because it is a time where you have two adults who, for the first time, are rather facing some tremendous challenges of how do you negotiate compromises, how do you deal with really stark differences of opinion about whether or not do you pick up your clothes every time, or do you have your spouse do it. So there's always, these kinds of little things here and there that creates these conflicts. And while you may not get into a situation whereby, individuals within that relationship gets into fisticuffs, but you do get into, rather heated debate and discussions, and sometimes pretty, verbal, heated discussion. And so the nexus there is the fact that, you provide these services. You make these services available, and that's why I think, we see a very close connection between the fees and the potential services that are out there. And so that's how I would respond to that.
Thank you very much, Senator Yee. I would also add that these fees have been on the books for many years. There has never been a legal challenge. It is true that happily all marriages don't end up with domestic violence, but sadly the statistics do show that unfortunately there are a large number of domestic problems within marriage situations. And I've always viewed these domestic violence programs to be very helpful to those that really have no place else to go. They may be people who are part of a family situation and their entire support group is gone because of the conflict and sometimes a very violent atmosphere where someone actually has to leave that relationship. And these programs step in when that marriage no longer is working and provide support, and in many cases life-saving support, and not only for a spouse but possibly also for the children of that relationship as well. So I'm satisfied that this bill does meet the test, and respectfully disagree with the opposition. But a motion is in order on this measure.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I want to speak in support of Senator Yee's bill. It's unfortunate that we have to be here, that we have so drained our state coffers of cash for necessary programs that the state should be supporting. It's appropriate that there's a bill that doesn't raise anyone's marriage license fee, but just gives authority to county boards of supervisors to be able to consider what the needs in their county might be. And this is an option for them should they find themselves short of cash to keep these services alive, which we know are so very important. And I think the analysis lays out a good explanation as to why this is a fee and not a tax. It's not for general fund purposes. It's not excessive. No one has to pay it. You don't want a marriage license, you don't have to pay the extra fee. And I think for those of us in the room who has the ability under state law to be able to pay the marriage license fee, you should feel fortunate. I look forward to that day. And though I can't get married, I can move your bill, and I'm happy to do so.
Thank you very much.
All right, we have a motion by Senator Leno. Thank you. Any other comments, Senator?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Madam Chair. I certainly support, and I'm sure everyone in this room on both sides of this issue support the need for domestic violence counseling and centers, and this is a wonderful, necessary activity. As you mentioned, Madam Chair, sometimes it's a life and death situation. It's that important. But that's not the issue. The issue is how is it going to be paid for, and is it legal to pay for it in the manner that's described in this bill, which says that it's a fee. And I would certainly agree with Mr. Wolf that it is not a fee. It doesn't come even close to having any nexus relationship as required by the Sinclair Paints case. And for that reason, I simply cannot support it, in spite of the fact that it's a wonderful program. It needs to be funded. We all support it. I heard the witnesses in support talk about how important it was, and I totally agree with them. But nevertheless, Prop 13 and Prop 218 say you can't do it this way. There has to be the two-prong test of the Sinclair Paint case has to be recognized. You got to have the nexus, and there has to be a reasonable charge. So I will be voting no on it. I did have a question, though. I thought that this applied only to Sonoma County, but I'm now being told that it would be statewide. What is it, Senator Yee? Is it statewide, or is the bill limited to Sonoma County?
No, it applies statewide, but it does require, each locality, each board of supervisors, to go ahead and take a affirmative vote to allow this to.
Is that the law today, or is this new in this bill?
This is new.
Take a look at the bill on page 4, line 17. I'm just curious. Someone, and maybe staff can help me. I see the word Sonoma County is highlighted in italics, meaning to me that it's been added. That's what made me think that it's the old existing law, and they've just added Sonoma. Can you help me with that?
Yes, those are actually referring to different fee programs. So Alameda County, Contra Costa, Solano, and Sonoma, and the City of Berkeley have different programs that assess fees on vital records that go towards the coordination of domestic violence services, not for shelters. And that's why Sonoma is being added there. It's more to update that provision in the statute because Sonoma started that program last year. That's a different portion.
Okay. So now if this bill passes, it would then be up to the local board of supervisors in the individual counties to decide on a majority vote if they wanted to increase this fee. Could be as much as $10.
Yes, that's correct.
Correct?
Yes. This just provides the authority for the county supervisors in individual counties to increase the fees if they wish.
Sure.
We have visited this issue in the past.
Yes, we have.
Many years ago,
yes.
The authority was granted. This is a new authority to increase the fees if a local county so wishes to address, obviously, the growing need.
So through the chair, Senator Harman, if a senator were to vote for this, you would not be voting for an increase. What you'll be voting for is to give the authority to the locals, if they so choose, to then vote for that increase.
Right. And so it could go as high as $33. Is that right?
No. The current charge right now is $23.
$23.
And then
statewide, $23.
Right. So you would then add $10 if that local community.
50%, almost a 50% increase. This is not the right thing to do, folks. As much as we need this type of a program, this is just not the right thing to do. I rest my case.
Thank you very much. Maybe we can convince you to find another place to find it, Senator Harmon, since it's so important to you. So I'm not putting you on the spot. All right, please call the roll on the vote.
Motion is that the Assembly amendments be concurred in. Corbett?
Aye.
Corbett, aye. Harmon?
No.
Harmon, no. Hancock? Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye. Walters?
Thank you. We're going to place this matter on call. One of our members, unfortunately, had an emergency medical appointment this morning, and so we will keep the roll open so that she will have the opportunity to vote later on. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much,
We are
Madam Chair.
in recess. Thank you very much.